Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, my dear students. How are you? I hope you'd be fine. I'm here with the question and answers of chapter number 9, The Wolf Children. We have discussed it in detail in the last video, and now it's time to move towards the exercise. So come to the comprehension part. Here we have few questions, and let's deal with them one by one. Why do you think one of the men licked his lips? Why do you think one of the men licked his lips? We are going to write the answer from the question. So we're going to write the answer as we think. We'll change you with we because the question has been asked to us, right? So we think one of the men licked his lips because he was nervous and his lips were dry with fright. This is the answer, okay? Why is this so? Because you can see on page number 91 in the paragraph number 2, one of the men licked his lips nervously. This word shows us that he was being nervous and licked his lips. Part B. Why does the author say that demons lived in the anthill? Why does the author say? We have to give the reason. Whenever there's a why in a question, it means we have to provide a reason. Why does the author say that the demons lived in the anthill? Again, the answer would start from the question. The author says that demons lived in the anthill because people knew they were not wolves and did not know what actually they were. So they named them after demons. So they called them demons because they were not aware that what actually these creatures were. So they named them that they were demons because they were not sure as what actually they were. They were pretty sure that they were not wolves. So what actually they were, they didn't knew. So they called them as demons. Part C. Write down 4 sentences from the first part of the passage which tell you that it is evening. Now we have to find out 4 sentences that indicates the story has been started in the time at evening. So you'll find it over here. Number 1 is now in the gathering twilight. Twilight. The word twilight tells us that the time is of evening because twilight is the time when there is a dim light after sunset. It's in reddish color, right? So now in the gathering twilight, this is the first sentence. Number 2, sunset was time for the demons to appear. So it was basically a sunset. As you can see, there was a moon in the sky and people were waiting there. So, sunset was time for the demons to appear. This is the second sentence. And the third sentence is, the forest was bathed in a deep red glow from the setting sun. This again shows the time was evening. And then, the first of the large fruit bats flew past as the waiting men. The first of the large fruit bats. This tells us that time was of evening because bats come out of their nest in the evening. Okay? So basically these are the 4 sentences that shows us the time was of evening. Then comes part D. How do we know that Mr. Singh kept a diary of some sort? How do we know? How we come to know that Mr. Singh kept a diary of some sort? This is obvious that it is sure Mr. Singh had a diary of some sort. But how did we come to know? हमें कैसे पता चला कि मिस्टर सिंह के पास एक डायरी थी? कौन से ऐसे सेंटेंसेस हैं यहाँ पर जो ये बात बता रहे हैं कि मिस्टर सिंह के पास कोई डायरी या नोटबुक थी? Again, we'll start the answer from the question. We know that Mr. Singh kept a diary of some sort by these sentences. Then he began to write in his notebook and the man with the notebook was Mr. Singh. So these 2 sentences are showing that he had a diary of some sort. So we'll write the answer as we know that Mr. Singh had some sort of diary by these sentences. Then he began to write in his notebook. The man with the notebook was Mr. Singh. Part E. How did Mr. Singh know that the children had been living with the wolves for a long time? How did Mr. Singh know? कि कैसे पता चला मिस्टर सिंह को कि बच्चे बहुत टाइम से वुल्व्स के साथ रह रहे थे? कौन सी ऐसी चीज थी जिसने उनको ये सोचने पर मजबूर कर दिया? The answer would start from the question only. Mr. Singh knew, not know, but knew. Will change this know into knew. Mr. Singh knew that the children had been living with the wolves for a long time because he wrote in his diary that both of them ran on all fours. As you can see in the picture also, that they were walking on their all fours, that is on hands and knees. So this shows that they were living with the wolves for a long time, right? So this would be the answer from because he wrote in his notebook both of them ran on all fours. Part F, why did the villagers refuse to help? Villagers ने help करने से मना क्यों कर दिया? The villagers refused to help because they still believed that the creatures were evil spirits. जाहिर है जिन्नात से तो कोई भी लड़ना नहीं चाहता ना, और वो अभी तक यही बिलीव करते थे, यही समझते थे कि वो जो डेमन्स हैं वो कोई बदरूहे हैं. So the villagers refused to help because they believed that the creatures were evil spirits. Part G, why did the hunting party beat the ground in front of them? Why the hunting party started to beat the ground? क्या रीजन था कि उन्होंने डायरेक्ट जाकर जमीन को खोदना ही शुरू कर दिया? So the answer would be the hunting party beat the ground in front of them to frighten the wolves out of their lair, to make them come out of their lair, to leave their lair by fright. ठीक है, वो खौफ की वजह से वर्ल्ड्स वहां से बाहर निकल आए, इसीलिए जमीन को उन्होंने खोदना शुरू कर दिया था. सो नेक्स्ट इज पार्ट जी, व्हाई डिड द हंटिंग पार्टी बीट द ग्राउंड इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम? हंटिंग पार्टी ने जमीन को खोदना क्यों शुरू कर दिया था? क्या वजह थी कि वहां जाते ही उन्होंने जमीन को जो है वो उसमें खुदाई शुरू कर दी? सो द आंसर वुड बी द हंटिंग पार्टी बीट द ग्राउंड इन फ्रंट ऑफ देम टू फ्राइटन द वर्ल्ड्स आउट ऑफ देयर लेयर. दैट मीन्स they wanted to make the wolves come out of their lair by listening to the sounds made in front of their lair. ठीक है, उनको डरा धमका के बाहर निकालने की वजह से वहां पर जमीन को खोदना शुरू कर दिया था ताकि वो डर के बाहर निकलें. Here comes part H. Why did Mr. Singh feel bitter and angry with himself? So the answer is very simple. Mr. Singh felt bitter and angry with himself because the she-wolf had been killed and he had not been able to protect her. वो किसी को मारना नहीं चाहते थे और कंफ्यूजन में, मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग के अंदर एक शी-वुल्फ जो थी, एक फीमेल थी, वो मारी गई और इस बात का उनको बहुत ज्यादा दुख था कि वो उसको बचाने. So basically this was the reason he was very much heartbroken. Here we have question number 2. Explain the italicized words and phrases in your own words. Here we have few italicized words. Attention was focused, bathed, stiffened, bared. So we need to use these words in our own words, which means that why these words have been used in the phrase, in the text. It was on this that the man's attention was focused. Basically, we use this word focus with cameras or something that is to be photographed. So why is this word used here? So as to make the attention was made, which means that it is pretty clear and detailed, right? Men were pretty clear and the explanation was detailed. तो इसी वजह से यहाँ पर हमने ये word focused author ने use किया है. The forest was bathed in a deep red glow. Bath का word हम use करते हैं when we need to take bath, when we go into water and we need to use water for cleaning purposes. तो यहाँ पर इसका क्या मतलब है? यहाँ पर इसका मतलब है flooded with lights. रोशनियों का समंदर, रोशनियों का सैलाब. The men on the platform stiffened. Stiffened का word जो use किया है यहाँ पर, it means showing they were scared, ready, alert and uncomfortable, right? So these words are basically the synonyms here for the word stiffened. Then number D, she arched her back and bared her teeth. Bared means to uncover something, to reveal something. किसी चीज को खोल के रख देना. तो what does it mean here? Bared means to show all the teeth, warning the enemy. It's something happens when the animals feel unsafe and they try to frighten their enemies. Now we have question number 3. Answer the following questions within the reference to context. Here they have provided us a sentence of the context. 1, quickly signal them not to shoot. And then we have 4 questions regarding them. Who made the signal? One quickly signaled. 1. Who is this one? He was Mr. Singh. Number B, why did the person signal? Why did Mr. Singh signal the man? So basically, actually he did not intend to kill anyone. So he stopped the people who were aiming the rifles towards the wolves. तो उनको स्टॉप करने के लिए उन्होंने फौरन सिग्नल दिया कि शूट मत करना. एंड टू whom was he making the signal? Of course he was making the signal to the two men who aimed their rifles at strange creatures, right? Number C, what had occurred just before this? उससे जस्ट पहले क्या हुआ था ऐसा कि उन्होंने सिग्नल दिया और रोका लोगों को अपने राइफल्स को इस्तेमाल करने से. तो एक्चुअली सम wolves and two demons who were actually children appeared from the lair. वो जो जहां से निकलने का वेट कर रहे थे, जो एंट हिल था पहले और अब वुल्फ्स का लेयर बन गया था, तो वहां से जिन क्रिएचर्स के निकलने का वो वेट कर रहे थे लोग, वो क्रिएचर्स वहां से एक्चुअली निकलना शुरू हो गए थे. तो इसी वजह से यहां पर उन्होंने अपनी राइफल्स को तान लिया था. वॉट डिड द पर्सन डू आफ्टर ही मेड द सिग्नल? और सिग्नल करने के बाद, उनको स्टॉप करने के बाद मिस्टर सिंह ने क्या स्टार्ट कर दिया? ही began to write in his notebook. So these are the answers to all 4 parts. Mr. Singh, he signaled because he did not intend to kill anyone. He made the signal to two men who aimed their rifles at strange creatures. Number C, some wolves and two demons that were children appeared from the lair. Number D, he began to write in his notebook. So it is the end to all the question and answers of exercise A. I hope students, you would have understood it clearly. Still, if you have any questions or queries, you can ask me in the comment section. Please like the video, share it with your friends. Thanks for watching the video. Subscribe to the channel if you are new, and don't forget to press the bell icon. Take care. Allah Hafiz.